Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on 5 August 2015, Wednesday, at 16:50 in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. Now tomorrow is August 6th, and in some churches, the Feast of the Transfiguration. Now, actually in a number of churches, the Feast of the Transfiguration is celebrated twice. Both at the sort of the end of Epiphany, and then also, August 6th. I just spilled some wine, so patting them on. Paul's in having a nap. I was surprised. He just sort of, zoomed in and had a nap. He'd been up most of the day and did some online stuff about his medical insurance, and went and got, there's a mosquito hunting me right now. Stop it. Anyway, he went out. I didn't know what. He just left and didn't say anything. And I thought, well, what the hell? And it came back, and he had some beer. So that's where he'd been. He'd been on a beer run. He's been keeping his arm in the sling. He's been a very good boy about managing that. I shouldn't say boy. He's been a very good man about managing that. He says it doesn't hurt very much. Well, and I said, well, what about when you take it out to maybe do something that you might have to do? And he didn't respond to that, so I don't know. Maybe it still hurts like hell. I don't know. The tree guys didn't come out today. I doubt they'll. I think they'll probably be out first part of next week, but we'll see. I was gonna go shopping today, largely because I wanted to go over to the post office and mail this stuff to the electric company and the water company saying, adios MFers, with documentation. But I thought, well, I'll just put four of the forever stamps on there. And I know those sorts of letters either take $1.17 or $1.51. I thought, well, I'll just put 4 on. That's $1.96. I know that's going to be okay, so I did that, and it's been a very benign, pleasant day. That's all there is to it. We're out here in God's cathedral. That's what it amounts to. Yeah, God's cathedral right here on Alum Creek. So I've been watching some YouTube off and on, and sometimes Paul watches it with me, sometimes he doesn't. I woke up a lot last night, but nonetheless I had a good night's sleep. And when the times I woke up, I was reading Eamon Duffy's History of the Papacy. It's, you know, his book is one of those books that if you have read enough of the history behind it, in terms of the events he discusses behind it, you know, you know what he's saying, you know what he's talking about, you know, because his and I have, you know, I read, you know, the Philip Jenkins book about the Jesus Wars, which I mentioned a while, you know, many videos back. Makes a lot of this stuff very clear, and I, you know, I'd obviously read other stuff about it, and actually the original, some of the original documents, but it's a good summary, and of course his writing style is so lucid and clear. It's wonderful to read. I don't get a sense he phoned this in any ways. Some of the stuff that, quote, popular historians do in the United States, you know, you can tell that they phoned it in through their research assistants or their flunkies or something. I don't get a sense he did that. Maybe he did. If he did, he hit it very well. Still a worthwhile read. It's the 4th edition, after all. You know, 1-volume history of the papacy with Eamon Duffy. And I finished Harper Lee's book, Set a Watchman. Go Set a Watchman. It's worth reading. Toward the second half, it becomes a bit of a Johnny One Note, but not that much. So it's worth reading. So that's beautiful. My daughter-in-law said she was going to come up tomorrow or Friday and cut some of the stuff out here in the dog yard. I thought maybe I might get a head start on it here today, but not today. But maybe I will tomorrow. It's hard to tell. There's going to be some rain, maybe. So there might be some rain, but we'll see. In any case, the D-Dog, the Daisy Dog's going to have a good time. I know that Paul and I are going to have a good time with the D-Dog. She gets a huge kick out of us, and we get a huge kick out of her, so it'll be fun to have a dog around again. That'll be fun. I'm trying to think, I talked about that. I talked about, well, you know, and I want to thank the people that didn't unsubscribe to me. In fact, I actually gained a subscriber. I hate to talk about that kind of account, but it still gives you an idea of, you know, some people are actually listening to you and actually staying with you, despite some of your less stellar efforts, to say the least. And I also want to wish a belated, although I wished him in a timely email, happy birthday to a friend of mine out in Los Angeles who makes many videos professionally for corporations. You know, he was essentially my best friend in the later part of high school and college. Not essentially, he was. Shit. So happy birthday. He's 64. I said another year closer to the great certainty, and he replied back, you know, with exactly what the way I think about it. He says it doesn't really enter into my thinking about that, and not for me either. You know, I don't spend a lot of time stewing around about, there's another year closer to death. Like, no, he doesn't do that, and I don't do that either. But it's fun to yak about it. Or I think it's fun to yak about it anyway. And now I'll finish up with a story of the absurd. Yesterday, I picked up my cell phone and it was like dead. It was stone cold dead. Okay, so you put it on charge. And it charges and it charges. About 4 hours later, it was charged. So, said he, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so 4 hours later it was charged. Excuse me. And there was a message on there, you know. Well, I don't really know how to use this phone because that's not what I use it for. You know, I use it to call people and things. Well, a woman at church had left me a message. Well, all right, fine. She's done that before. But this time, she mumbled the message. Let's say that again. She mumbled the message. It didn't help me very much. Now, it seems that this fellow she wanted prayers for was either named Earl. In any case, he was called Bud. Or his name was Pearl. Well, I wasn't gonna listen to this, this 3-minute lead-in to all this. You know, it's half mumbled, I can barely hear. Because she's on her cell phone talking to my cell phone. So I said, you know, prayers for Earl, quote, Bud, unquote. And so, now interestingly, she could have easily emailed the information. But now, so after I send out the email to the prayer group, she emails me back and says, no, that was supposed to be Pearl. 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 I thought, well, why didn't you just fucking email me in the first place? What I didn't do was I did not trouble the prayer group with a secondary email on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of happy horse shit that goes with this. I'll tell you that right now. This guy lived next door to her for a number of years. The woman next to him bought his place and tore down his house and then put in a garden. So she hasn't seen this guy. She hasn't seen this guy in about, 7 years. 4 years anyway. I guess this guy's daughter called my church friend and come on, people, come on. Pray for who you want. I mean, I pray for a lot of people, including myself, obviously. But do you really want to bug the crap out of people with a shotgun email about this kind of stuff? Now, admittedly, that's kind of the point, but nobody knows this guy except my friend who was calling me about it and not really telling me clearly about it. Well, it's fun in its own way, I suppose, if you're into that kind of stuff. So, Paul's having a nap. It's getting near towards 6 o'clock in the evening. I've got food warmed. I edited the refrigerator, took out all the moldy food. Moldy food? Joe threw out moldy food? Yeah, I threw out some moldy food. So there we are. I'm assuming that perhaps my daughter-in-law will be up here with the D-Dog tomorrow, maybe not. Certainly on Friday, because they're going to go down to Hilton Head here this weekend. So we'll see. Alrighty, bye-bye, YouTubers. Here, we'll give the obligatory final shot here.